Maybe you've heard group rides make you faster, they introduce you to new places, but they require you to go into public and interact with people. So naturally, as an introvert, I've avoided them like the plague. But thanks to my new friend Kevin down there, I've started attending a local group ride. And it wasn't because of his patient persistence, it wasn't because of anything he said, it's because he absolutely kicked my ass during a casual ride around our neighborhood. I'm still very new at the group ride thing, and I'm still awkward, unfortunately. But I'm also faster on solo rides now too. Morning. Which is weird, right? What is it about group rides that makes us faster?
I'm going to share a lot of my data and power numbers, including my latest FTP in this video. But there are some data I don't want to share with the world. And that's why this video's sponsor is Surfshark. I like to spend my time on the fun side of the internet, but we can all admit it's also a little bit scary. It feels like the people who try to steal from you get a little better at it each year. One of the best ways to protect yourself and your data is with Surfshark VPN. A VPN allows you to connect to the internet via a different location or even a different country. When I was in New Zealand, for example, I used this to make it look like I was still in the United States so I didn't get locked out of my Gmail for suspicious activity. Ironic. The virtual private network it creates encrypts all your data, and that is the most important benefit in my opinion. Anytime I'm on public Wi-Fi, at an airport, a coffee shop, I make sure to turn on Surfshark before opening any other apps. A long time ago, before I did this YouTube thing, I taught at a programming school. And you would be surprised at how easy it is with minimal training to steal people's data on public Wi-Fi. And that was back in 2015. The tools people use now are so much more sophisticated. In my opinion, a VPN is no longer optional. Luckily, setting up and installing Surfshark is just as easy as downloading any other app or browser extension, and in one click, your internet is secured. It's literally that easy. So if you want to try it out, you should click the link in the description, surfshark.deals/Mitch Boyer. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's completely risk-free. Clicking that link and using my code supports the channel, but it also gets you in on a special deal, an extra 3 months when you sign up. Links in the description. Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Okay, now let's get back to group rides, why and how they make you faster.
I'm not ashamed to say I'm afraid of group rides. Oh. Specifically, I have 3 fears. Number 1, drafting. How are you all so close to the bike in front of you, and how is this somehow normal? Number 2 is maybe a niche fear, but I feel like it's becoming more and more common, and that is I don't want to be the guy to show up to a group ride with a camera, but it's kind of my job. And number 3 is probably the one that scares me the most, required social interaction. It's not that I don't like people, I do like people, I am a people. It's just that, unlike these videos that are scripted, real life is live, and my brain loves to turn off as soon as I say hello to someone new. Before Kevin introduced me to the ponies ride here in Los Angeles, I did have kind of like a soft introduction to group rides. The first was Phil Guyman's Cookie Fondo. Last year, Phil asked me to go film some B-roll for his YouTube channel at the event, and he really did me a favor because if it wasn't a job, I probably wouldn't have gone. And at the end, I was surprised by how much I actually enjoyed riding with new people. And the second kind of soft intro was when I was in Australia filming my Steep Street series. My old coach and the founder of RCA, Cam Nichols, invited me up to Noosa for a ride. He had like a crazy steep street he wanted to show me.
Queensland, got you, mate.
Yep. But the beginning of the ride was his local bunch ride. And that was my first time really riding in a pace line. And those 2 experiences kind of showed me that drafting isn't as scary as I thought it would be. Nobody yelled at me for having a camera.
Sorry, what's the word?
You taught me the word wanker. Right. And people on a group ride are way easier to talk to than people at a random party. All you have to do is ask them if they like disc brakes or rim brakes. But going on those rides did introduce me to a new fear, getting dropped. And he's off. The Kohler effect occurs when an inferior team member performs a difficult task better in a team or co-action situation than one would expect from knowledge of his or her individual performance. Now, I don't love being called an inferior team member, but I do have to agree with the effect. The Ponies group ride goes through Griffith Park, which is like my stomping grounds. It goes up Mount Hollywood Drive, down Ferndale, back up Ferndale. These are roads I've literally ridden hundreds of times, but never as fast as when I did the group ride. Before the Ponies group ride, my best time up Mount Hollywood Drive was something like 19 minutes. And now all of a sudden, every time I was riding, I was sub 16 minutes. Now that's not the front of the pack in the group. There are plenty of people that are way faster. What's your fastest time? 12:45? And that's a good thing, because one of the things they found with the Kohler effect is the greater the diversity of skill level in the team members or the people participating in a co-action event, like riding in a group, the greater the lower level team members were lifted up. I guess it's kind of like real estate. Like, you don't ever want to be the most expensive house on the block because the more expensive houses will raise your value, your property value. Yeah, apparently that's what happens with group rides too.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think it really works for you. So doing them once a week is perfect, because essentially that's your maximum effort session, and it's socializing, and you get so much benefit from that social aspect because you don't want to let people down. Like, you want to show that you're a good rider as well. So that's why you can push yourself harder, is because you've got this pressure to perform, or you've got to hold that wheel for an extra bit longer because that person is stronger than you. So you're like, I want to prove that I'm just as strong. You need to push to prove to yourself and to other people that you are strong and you are capable of doing hard efforts.
I also feel like I've broken through a new level of like accepting pain while I'm riding. Oh, I thought like this is my threshold of how much it can hurt while I'm going, and then I'm like, oh, I can do this.
It's so mental, the being able to suffer. If you just think you can do more, you can do more. Like, it's unreal what your body can handle. You've just got to be able to cope with it mentally. Like, your muscles are never going to give way. But yeah, when you're riding with people, you're not looking at power. So you're just focusing on the person in front of you. So if you're going above what you think you can do, but you can't see it, then you just keep going. Like, there's no expectation there, or there's no mental challenge where you look down and I'm doing 400 watts, I should be doing 350. Like, you just go and do it. It's good to push yourself and good to do some different riding as well. Like, we've been working together for a while now, so that's how you mix things up a bit. Like, I can give you different types of interval sessions and try and mix it up, but going to do a group ride, there's no specific set structure. Like, one week you might go hard up one climb, or go 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Like, it's so variable. It's going to give you benefit each week just because there's variance in what you're doing.
Now, it's not like the group ride gave me some magic power I didn't have before. It was power I had built through my training. I just didn't know I had it. And chasing other people showed me what I had. That has translated into other rides. Check out this Zwift race I did. Before starting group rides, I had never held 300 watts for more than like 10 or 12 minutes. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I have a goal of one day getting a 300 watt FTP. And to do that, you have to hold more than 300 watts for 20 minutes.
Climbs that you do in those group rides, like, you do some long climbs, like 10, 15 minutes. So that sort of longer sustained effort where you have to dig really deep and it's a maximum effort, it's so good for you. And it proved on Sunday when you did the test that being able to do those long sustained maximum efforts, it pays off when you go and do a long 20-minute effort, for example.
I got a 5-minute test and then a proper 20-minute FTP test to do. I'm not gonna record any more than this. I mean, I'll record using the Insta360, but I'm not gonna talk to you during the test because I got stuff to do. Now, if you're not a cyclist and you're watching this for some reason, thank you. I'm surprised you made it this far, but welcome. FTP is to cyclists what saying like, what do you bench, bro, is to gym people. Kind of like a vanity metric, and a 300 watt FTP for a lot of people is a goal that we just want to break that barrier. Kind of the most accepted way to calculate your FTP is to take 95% of your 20-minute power. Done. And on this test, for 20 minutes, I had an average of 315 watts. Way more than I've ever done before. So if you take 95% of 315, you get an FTP of 299 watts. You know, the funny thing is, if I would have just called up my new friends from the group ride and asked them to pace me during my effort, I would probably have a 300 watt FTP right now. So I guess the real power of group rides is not the watts you produce, but the friends we made along the way. Sorry, I had to.